Before we go further into this story, we need to talk about Chief Biodun Ajala, not the man the community sees, not Babaye, not the generous elder with the warm smile and the open compound. I mean the other one, the one that only comes out at night. Chief Biodun Ajala did not arrive in Ajere community as a powerful man. He arrived as nothing. 23 years old, thin, quiet, a young man from a small family in Ogun State, with no land, no connection, no particular reason for anyone to notice him. He came to Badagry looking for work and found the Ajere community instead. Farmers, good people, the kind of community that takes in strangers without asking too many questions, because that is how they were raised. He asked if he could stay a little while. They said yes. He never left. In those early years, he worked hard and kept his head down. He helped the elderly carry loads. He volunteered for the difficult community jobs nobody else wanted.
Good evening, everyone.
He showed up at every ceremony, every gathering, every moment that mattered to the community. And he always come with something: food, drink, his time, his labor. He was not doing this randomly. He was doing this deliberately. Every gesture, every act of generosity, every early morning, he showed up to help an elder with a task nobody asked him to do. All of it was an investment. And Chief Biodun Ajala was a very patient investor. 11 years after arriving with nothing, he had become indispensable. People brought their disputes to him, husbands and wives, neighbors over land boundaries, families over inheritance. He listened to everybody. He was fair. He was calm. He never raised his voice. The community started when he was 84 years old. He had a chieftaincy title, the biggest compound in the settlement that no government document could give you and no government document could take away. The authority that comes with 30 years of making people feel safe. Then, in 1993, everything changed. He was not in a mining company boardroom. He was not part of any official discovery. He found out about the gold the way he found out about everything in the Ajere community. Someone told him, because people told Babaye everything. A young community member who worked as a casual laborer for the survey team came to him one evening, excited and at the same time confused about what he had seen. The soil samples, the way the geologists had looked at each other when the results came, the way they had packed up and left without saying a word to anyone. The young man wanted to know what it meant. Chief Ajala listened carefully, asked a few quiet questions, patted the young man on the shoulder, told him not to worry, told him it was probably nothing. Then, he sat alone in his compound that night and understood exactly what it meant. And he understood something else too. Those land certificates the government had handed to them in 1991, the ones nobody had celebrated over, because what could possibly come out of debts like that were now the most valuable documents in Badagry. And he knew exactly where every single one of them was. He did not rush. That is the thing people do not understand about Chief Biodun Ajala. He never rushed. A lesser man would have moved immediately, made obvious plays, drawn attention, created suspicion. But Chief Biodun Ajala went home that night and did nothing. For 6 months, he did absolutely nothing different. He attended ceremonies, he settled disputes, he visited the sick, he buried the dead, he smiled at children. He let another 6 months pass. He watched which families had no one looking out for them. He noted which elders had outlived their children. He identified which households were isolated, which people and nobody would ask loud questions if something had happened to them. He made a list in his head. He never wrote anything down. And then, quietly, very quietly, the person started. Mama Risikat was first, 70 years old, strong but alone. Her son was her only surviving relative, and Dotun trusted Chief Ajala completely. Dotun called Chief Ajala uncle. He had called him uncle since childhood. It looked like old age. Everybody said so, even the clinic. Dotun inherited the mineral rights, and within 3 months, Dotun was gone too. A road accident on a stretch of empty road that Dotun drove every single day without incident for 15 years. His wife, Folake, inherited the mineral rights. Folake lasted 4 months before an illness came that the clinic called malaria, and they could not even explain, they could not treat. Their daughter, Tiwa, 15 years old, became Chief Ajala's ward, and her mineral rights remained 2 years into the quiet person. Chief Ajala was in the process of acquiring the mineral rights of 41 Ajere community members, 41 families, 41 sets of documents, 41 quiet ceremonies, where he had wept publicly and genuinely performed grief, so convincing that people had comforted him. The man had arranged everything, being comforted by people who had lost everything, and not one single person in the community suspected him. Not one, except a 15-year-old girl with a school notebook who pressed herself against compound walls in the dark and wrote down everything she heard. Now, Tiwa was 17. A stranger had come to Badagry, and Chief Biodun Ajala, Babaye, father of the world, was standing at his window, watching, thinking, planning the way he had been doing for 40 years. That evening, he sent his aide across the settlement with a message for the stranger. A warm message, a welcoming message. Chief Ajala will be honored if she would join him for dinner at his compound tomorrow evening. He had heard there was a visitor in the community, and it would be rude, simply rude, not to extend his hospitality. Sade received the message sitting in Tiwa's room. She read it once, then again. Then she looked at Tiwa. Tiwa looked back at her with those 17-years-old eyes that had seen too much and said nothing for a long moment. Then she said, "If you refuse, he would know you are afraid of him. And if he knows you are afraid of him, he would know you know something." Sade folded the message carefully. She looked at the wall of 41 names behind Tiwa's head. She thought about Folake laughing in the compound on a warm afternoon 3 weeks before everything changed. She thought about Dotun on an empty road. She thought about 41 families. Then she said, "Tell him I will be there."